Okay, Ghoul Gang, let's talk about The Curse of Bridge Hollow, literally just released on Netflix and produced by Jeff Wadlow, who also recently rebooted Are You Afraid of the Dark in 2021, so he's alright in my eyes if you ask me. It was filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina, so if it looks familiar, it might be because a bunch of prominent movies have been shot there, including last year's The Black Phone and Halloween Kills, the Scream remake earlier this year, Sleepy Hollow, The Crow, The Conjuring, along with some much scarier titles like One Tree Hill, Dawson's Creek and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Actually, to be fair, jokes aside, the newer Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films make the Turtles look pretty nightmarish, so joke's on me, I guess. Let me talk you through what happens first before giving you my overall thoughts. So just before we jump in, there are of course going to be some major spoilers, so if you don't want to listen to that, switch off now because I am about to ruin the movie for you. So we start the movie with Hit the Road Jack playing, which is, to be fair, a great opening to any film. I'm not so sure about the singing though, but to be fair, this is legit what most family road trips are like, right? So we've got one of the Wayans brothers, and we've got Kelly fucking Rowland with their kid, dare I say it, Destiny's Child. Yeah. They're moving from Brooklyn from a small apartment and moving into this luxurious house in suburbia. It's no surprise that where they're moving to is a town called Bridge Hollow that apparently smells like apples and white privilege. And I just want to throw in here, from an editing standpoint, the lower thirds with the red lightning bolts moving across them as we're intro to the movie actually look phenomenal. Well played, whoever that was. When we see the town, it's full of Halloween decorations, you know, like them places that overdo Christmas and people visit their streets just to see the lights. It's a bit like that, but with death, which is probably more me, to be fair, so I'd probably live here, especially with these houses. Fucking look at this house they move into. We soon learn of the Irish legend of this jerk called Stingy Jack. Turns out the villagers of the town offed him, and the devil felt really sorry for him that he'd been killed and carved him a lantern, a pumpkin with a flame in it, and the flame was from the fires of hell itself. Every Halloween, Jack comes back to the town to seek revenge on the descendants of the villagers that killed him. The story, by the way, is being told by the mayor of the town, who drives around in this giant pumpkin car, looks about 12 years old, and has a jumper of it telling this very tale, a bit like Maui from Moana, but with knitwear instead of tribal tattoos. For some reason, the kid of the family explores a cemetery, like you do, and comes across a crypt with a bunch of goths in it who are just testing an app to measure electromagnetic field fluctuations to spot ghosts or other paranormal phenomena in this part of their virgin society that they're part of. Turns out, they let the girl know that someone died in the house that they've just moved into, so the virgins are immediately on it, and naturally the daughter immediately busts out a Ouija board to find a ghost of a woman called Madam Hawthorne who spells out here. Not gonna lie though, a Ouija board on a tablet probably seems like the dead might struggle with that a little bit. Not sure I'm down for that concept. I'm old school. I want the board. Of course, with Madam Hawthorne now around, doors start randomly opening, a mop falls and somehow smashes a hole through a wall, and the girl can break open a padlock with her bare hands to find a pumpkin inside. The girl tries to explain all this to her parents, and can I just say, Kelly Rowland can fucking bake, can't she? She'd smash Celebrity Bake Off. Look at those cakes. And that's not even a euphemism. They end up lighting the pumpkin, but the flame won't go out, eventually bringing a fake bat that they've thrown in a bin back to life. At this point, my girlfriend said to me, unless that bat's carrying COVID, they'd probably be safe. But it turns out they just unleashed the ghouls on Bridge Hollow. And if you'd like to help unleash the ghouls, then you can hit that subscribe. Oh man, I've sold my fucking soul here, haven't I? Anyway, all the decorations come to life, and somehow their overly ambitious neighbour, who looks a bit like a Poundland Eric Cantona, thinks a clearly fake cat is real and ends up bitten by his own Walking Dead decorations. They end up bargaining with an old lady dressed as a fairy and get this backstory on what the fuck is going on. Turns out there was this old seance to try and put an end to Stingy Jack, and this old fairy's grandmother was the one that trapped Jack, sent him back to hell, and extinguished the flame in the pumpkin to begin with, which looks more like 9 from the film 9 than it does a pumpkin, but who am I to judge people's pumpkins? Somehow the dad makes a corrosive spray in a cupboard in like 3.5 seconds because some spider decorations came to life, and he sprays it on him and it just melts all these spiders. Other than of course Aragog, who's left the Forbidden Forest and just come to fuck some shit up in this old people's home instead. Hagrid would be proud. We also get what look like the killer clowns from outer space show up at one point, as well as lots of other horror references throughout, such as the address that they mention being Elm Street, lots of other lookalike characters you'd know from all your favourite horror movies, and just general little nods to other movies sewn throughout this one. There's even an E.T.-esque scene with the bikes where the dad is on the handlebars instead of E.T. himself, and what I guess you could call a daddy chainsaw massacre. Yeah, let's leave that one there. I tried my best. For some reason though, Scrumpy Jack goes right for the family home and takes over the living room and decides that Kelly Rowland will be his swap so that she can take his place for Hell and he can stay on Earth and just reign supreme forever. Luckily though, as we already know, Kelly's a survivor, isn't she? And they get that spell jumpin' and good old Jack-o'-lantern sent back to Hell. Hurrah! For some reason though, the giant pumpkin is filled with jizz and just sprays the parents all over their face, ultimately fulfilling a childhood fantasy of mine regarding Kelly. We don't need to talk about that anymore, mainly because I'm right at the vinegar strokes and I don't really want to be put off my stride. The film concludes pretty quickly, to be honest, with them sending Jack off back to Hell and finding loads more locked boxes, presumably with other spirits contained in them, before Hit the Road Jack just plays us out again really nicely. Essentially, this movie is just Goosebumps all over again, but it's insanely easy to watch. There's nothing really to overtly dislike about it other than it just being your run-of-the-mill predictable comedy horror. There's some really decent little jokes woven in, and unless you're being a miserable bastard like I normally am, or going expecting something entirely different from what this is trying to be, you're not really going to hate it, even if you're not going to be blown away by anything new here or particularly exhilarating. Overall, it's a really light watch, which I quite enjoyed on a lazy day off work and just chilling out with my partner. So if you're in some similar spot to that, or just want to relax over the weekend, taking a break from gore fests or jump scares, then this could be a really nice break for you and something much lighter for you to dig into. But what did you lot reckon? Did you enjoy it? Think it was Goosebumps just revamped? In fact, let me know all the horror references you clocked, because there was absolutely loads of them throughout. Although I clocked more than I mentioned in this review myself, I will have absolutely missed a bunch of them, so I'm really keen to hear which ones you spotted as well. Anyway, that's my wrap up of The Curse of Bridge Hollow. It's a decent little flick. You might as well watch it because it's just come out on Netflix. Either way, hope you enjoyed the film, and until next time, I've been Stuart, this is Unleash the Ghouls, and this is obviously your new favourite channel that you're absolutely going to subscribe to immediately. Good night, and sweet ghouly filled dreams.